the Antumbra. Okay, and in this particular region, what happens is if you are in this particular region, then you will see the entire full moon on top of the sun's disk. Okay, and so there is some region of the sun which is still visible at the borders. Okay, and so this doesn't call a full blockage of the sun. It's still a partial blockage of the sun, but instead of seeing like a half disk, which you are seeing here, what you see is the full moon's disk overlapping the solar disk as well. Okay, so you start to see the border of the sun in this particular region. Okay, so this region is called the Antumbra, and then you still have a penumbra where you will see a partial solar eclipse. Okay, so today's situation, let's look at what is happening today, right? So in today's situation, what you will find is that we are very close to the apex of this umbra. Okay, so this apex of the umbra is very close to touching the surface of the earth. And so at this point of time, what happens is the moon is going to mostly block out the sun. The region around the sun which remains is very, very tiny. Okay, and so this can give you an appearance of a ring of fire as well. Okay, and so that's very, very special. It requires a lot of fine tuning, right? It requires the moon to be at the right distance, and you to be present at that particular location as well. So this location is going to be in the northern parts of India. So they will see mostly the sun will be mostly blocked, but they will see a slight ring outside as well.
Surud,
yes,
there is one request from our viewers that can you also give us a short summary of what you said so far in Hindi?
Oh, in Hindi. Okay, my Hindi is not that great. So let me try. Okay.
Aniket can try.
Yes. So मुझे आपको ये बताना था कि ये जो ग्रहण है, ये होने का कारण जो है, ये सूर्य और पृथ्वी के बीच में जब चंद्र आता है तो ये ग्रहण होते हैं. तो आप इस डायग्राम में ये देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे सूर्य है, यहाँ पे चंद्र है और यहाँ पे अपनी पृथ्वी है. तो यहाँ पे ये जो क्षेत्र है, इधर आप अगर रहेंगे तो सूर्य की जो पूरी डिस्क है वो आपको दिखाई नहीं देगी, उसमें से कोई भी किरण आपके पास आ नहीं पाएगा. तो ये जो छाया वाला क्षेत्र है, यहाँ पे अगर आप जाओगे तो आपको इस तरह का चित्र, अगर आप सूर्य की तरफ देखोगे, ऑफकोर्स गॉगल लगा के या फिर एक मिरर से आप उसकी प्रतिमा बना सकते हैं. अगर आप ऐसे देखेंगे तो इस तरह का चित्र आपको दिखाई देगा. लेकिन ये छाया की बजाय अगर आप इधर रहते हो, इसको उपछाया कहते हैं आई थिंक. तो ये जो उपछाया के क्षेत्र में अगर आप होंगे तो आपको इस तरह का सूर्य ग्रहण दिखाई देगा, जहां पे पार्शियली कवर होगा. ये जो चंद्रमा है वो सूर्य को पार्शियली कवर करेगा. ठीक है. लेकिन आप कभी कभी ये जो अंतर है चंद्रमा और पृथ्वी के बीच का, ये फिक्स नहीं है. ये जो अंतर है वो चेंज होते रहता है, मतलब उसमें बदल होता है. तो अगर ये अंतर जो है वो ज्यादा हो गया तो कभी कभी ये जो क्षेत्र है जहां पे आपको पूरी तरह से सूर्य नहीं दिखाई देता है, वो पृथ्वी के ऊपर गिरता नहीं है. उसके बजाय आप इस क्षेत्र में रहते हो जिसको हम प्रतिछाया कहते हैं. और अगर ये प्रतिछाया के क्षेत्र में आप होंगे तो आपको चंद्र का जो चंद्र की डिस्क है वो पूरी तरह से कवर नहीं करती है सूर्य को, लेकिन पार्शियली कवर करती है. और ये जो पार्शियल कवरेज है ये इधर के पार्शियल कवरेज से थोड़ा सा अलग है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे आपको चंद्रमा की पूरी डिस्क दिखाई देगी सूर्य के डिस्क के ऊपर. तो ये जो है इसको एनुलर सोलर एक्लिप्स कहते हैं. लेकिन आज का जो इवेंट है वो थोड़ा स्पेशल है, क्योंकि ना ही हम चंद्र के काफी करीब है ना ही काफी दूर है. तो इसलिए ये जो रीजन है ये हम ये जो एपेक्स है इस कोन का, यानी कि सॉरी, मुझे कोई हेल्प कर सकता है या समीर या अनिकेत? ये जो त्रिकोण का जो पॉइंट है, ये जो पॉइंट है वो पृथ्वी के सतल पर गिरने वाला है। तो ये जो पॉइंट है,
चंद्रमा की ये छाया है एक शंकु की तरह होती है, और शंकु का ये सबसे ऊपरी बिंदु जो है, इसको इंग्लिश में एपेक्स कहते हैं।
ये जो एपेक्स है वो जस्ट टच करने वाला है पृथ्वी को। तो ये बहुत ही स्पेशल ऐसा ओकेजन है। तो इस कारण यहाँ पे अगर आप होंगे तो आपको ये दिखाई देगा कि चंद्र जो है वो सूर्य को लगभग पूरी तरह से कवर करने वाला है, लेकिन एक छोटी सी जो रिंग है बाहर वाली, वो आपको दिखाई देने वाली है। तो ये जो चित्र है, ये ऐसे चित्र हमें भारत के पूर्वी जो राज्य है, हरियाणा, वहां पे आपको फॉर एग्जांपल दिखाई देंगे। हरियाणा, उत्तराखंड एज वेल आई थिंक। लेकिन पुणे से जहां से अभी ये ब्रॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे हम इस वाले क्षेत्र में हैं, तो हमें पार्शियल ब्लॉकेज दिखाई देगा। तो इसका मतलब पुणे से हमें इस तरह का चित्र दिखाई देगा। और अगर आप हरियाणा या जो भी एक छोटा सा एरिया है भारत में,
ये बेल्ट जो है एन्युलर इक्लिप्स का, वो राजस्थान के कुछ जिलों में शुरू होगा, फिर हरियाणा, पंजाब, हिमाचल प्रदेश और उत्तराखंड से होके वो नेपाल में जाएगा।
That's right. तो क्योंकि ये जो हम बहुत ही स्पेशल ऐसे केस में है, इसलिए ये जो स्ट्रिप है वो बहुत ही छोटी है। तो यू हैव टू बी, मतलब आपको जो जगह है जहां पे वो छाया गिरने वाली है, एग्जैक्टली अगर आप वहां पे होंगे तो ये दृश्य दिखाई देगा। आप अगर थोड़ा सा 100 किलोमीटर ऊपर या 100 किलोमीटर नीचे रहेंगे तो आपको ये जो पार्शियल ब्लॉक, ये जो कंप्लीट ब्लॉकेज है वो नहीं दिखाई देगा, जस्ट पार्शियली ब्लॉक दिखाई देगा।
Okay, Surud, we will come back to you.
Yes, sure.
But would either Samir or Professor Achudhary, can you give a short summary in Bangla as well?
Oh, acha, okay. I can try that. সূর্য গ্রহণ আজকে বলয় গ্রহণ, আজকে পূর্ণ বলয় গ্রহণ। বলয় গ্রহণ হয় যখন চাঁদ আসে হচ্ছে কি হলদে পৃথিবী দেখানো হচ্ছে, একটা নীল গোলাকার গোলাকৃতি
like that. But before we remind ourselves of what this annular eclipse is, what's causing it,
Woo! Adapted Mind Math! Come explore the site with me. I'm in first grade, so I'll pick that. Neato! A fun fishing adventure! Fish until you find the sunken ship. Oh, I'm excited! I think 9 is the answer. Hey, I
use face masks, don't touch things unnecessarily, try to avoid touching your own faces, wash or sanitize your hands frequently. All the things which you already know about, I'm afraid we are going to have to continue to do. So please don't pin your hopes on the coronavirus going away because of the eclipse. It's going to stay with us for a while. Sorry to disappoint. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's good, and I think people will appreciate astronomy. People are appreciating that. While you were doing that, we have feed from a large observatory, one of the largest observatories in India, which is in Hanle, Ladakh, and that's far up north and very close to the belt. Although it will not get the annularity, what we are seeing now is the only feed which has a very good view of the eclipse. So if you look at the in the corner, then you'll see the view there, and the sun has started becoming slightly covered by the moon. The moon has started crawling over it, and it's starting to come in between the Earth and the sun. There you can see, I think it's almost 15 to 20 minutes into the partial eclipse that we will see there, and it's going to start looking like a Pac-Man very soon. And so we can keep seeing this while we have our other panelists give their opinions and experiences and explanations about the eclipse. So may I invite Professor Yogesh Shauche now, who is at the National Center for Cell Sciences. He's himself a biologist and microbiologist, and very well experienced and knowledgeable about, especially about viruses, which are the talk of the town right now. Divya just mentioned that the coronavirus will not be affected, and there's no relation, in fact, to any life on Earth and the solar eclipse. So, Professor Shauche, what is your opinion, and what would you like to share with us?
Yeah. So, thank you, Samir. Thanks for this organizing this. And as was said just now, that the hypothesis that solar eclipse will destroy the coronavirus or something, there is absolutely no logic or reason to that. And in fact, there is no correlation between eclipse or sun and the virus. The only correlation, a far-fetched correlation, is that the name corona for this virus was derived from the fact that under the electron microscope, the virus looks like solar corona. That's all. There is nothing more to it. So the virus owes nothing to its origin for any solar radiation or something like that. And it will be totally inappropriate, and I would say rather foolish, to think that the eclipse will kill the virus. The eclipse is not going to kill the virus, and there are other ways of killing the virus, as we know, that use of use of your protection equipments, and finally, if we are successful in getting some drug or the vaccine. So these are the scientific ways of killing the virus. And events like eclipse are not going to kill the virus. So there is absolutely no biological basis to this theory.
Oh, that's good to know that little connection of corona and the name coronavirus.
Yeah, that is the only connection between the virus, coronavirus, and the solar corona.
We in fact had a big solar astrophysics meet in February here at IUCAA, and it was impeded. Many of our colleagues could not come because of the coronavirus, which was a minor thing at that time. We had quite a few jokes going around, but okay, this is good to know. Thanks for explaining this, sir. There are people who are also asking if about this particular rumor that's going around, saying that not just coronavirus but other microbes, they come up and infect our food and other living things around us during the solar eclipse. In fact, that rumor comes up for any eclipse, may it be solar or lunar. So would you be kind enough to explain this rumor?
Again, often there is a belief that you should not eat anything that is cooked during the eclipse, or the food goes bad when it is stored during the eclipse. And again, I would emphatically
your food.
Aniket, for some reason your voice is not coming through. We do have, I mean, we appreciate these comments, and we have around 4,000 people watching right now, 2,000 on our channel and 2,000 on another channel which is streaming our content out. So I really want these viewers to watch it safely and not fall prey to any superstitions and misconceptions, especially those which make use of something called pseudoscience, which basically starts to put in some scientific terms, etc., into a unreasonable explanation. And therefore, people might sometimes mistake it for a real scientific explanation. We have scientists here saying that there is no harm in an eclipse. It does not cause any kind of increase in microbes, etc. It's actually a very tiny night, which suddenly happens in the daytime. Maybe we can understand why the birds might be confused if there is a total solar eclipse happening at your place, but for a little while. But then they really get back to life very soon after that. So that's amazing to see and experience, though. And I hope that you will experience this happening right now. If you're in the north of India, if you want to watch it, there are very simple ways of doing it. Of course, if you have saved any solar eclipse goggles for yourself, go use them, clean them up properly and use them. Make sure there are no holes in them. And otherwise, as we've been pointing out, you can make use of some small mirrors. If you have smaller, the smaller the better. If you have like mirrors which are used on tiny dresses, tiny mirrors used on dresses for decoration, those are the best. But of course, if you have a hand mirror like Surud has here, you could use it to point the light of the sun, not onto yourself, but onto a wall which is far off. You can also, maybe if you have a big mirror, you can just make a aperture like Surud has made here. He has made a cut in a small cut in a piece of black paper, put it on top of the mirror. Then you can just reflect light off that mirror and onto a wall. Whitish wall would be good enough. And lo, you will have the image of the eclipse right there. Now, of course, the best way, the safest way is to watch our webcast. We'll be showing you live pictures from all over the annularity belt and also from other places down south and slightly north of the belt, because we have several people arranging for webcasts there. So stay tuned to our channel. We'll be there for the next 1 more hour almost. So I now actually would like to invite Professor Priya Hassan to also say her experience and her explanation. Priya, please.
So yeah, Priya, you can go ahead. You can speak if you want. Right? Yeah. So Samir, maybe she's having trouble in getting us, and she's not getting the feed through Zoom, but instead through YouTube. So there is a delay in between.
Right. No, we'll just then in that time, meanwhile, I'll admit Professor Dibyendu Nandi, another solar physicist. He's from Kolkata, so he's from the east of India. Let us.
And I will drop off.
Audio problem.
Samir.
Can you hear me now?
Join later.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Priya.
Hello.
And, welcome.
Can you hear me now?
And goodbye to Surud, who will come back later while we are experiencing the max in Pune.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hello, Dibyendu. How are things there in Kolkata? Can you do you have your solar eclipse goggles to see the eclipse?
Yeah.
You're muted, Dibyendu.
So, Samir, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Aniket. Yes.
It was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Dibyendu, please tell us how things are.
Good morning to all of you. I see that you are having a lot of fun out there. So Calcutta is kind of, there's a play of clouds going on. I do have my Eclipse goggles, but, I think I'm going to watch it online because from the live feed from North India, you're going to see, I think almost 98% of the coverage, which is pretty.
Hi.
Yeah, so in fact, I have sent a link to everybody here in our institute and families. So I hope that everybody is watching this fantastic initiative that you folks have taken up from IUCA and the Astronomical Society of India. So I'll be here for like the next 10-15 minutes and I'll return again at 12 because in between I have to go off to a Bengali channel. Covering in the regional languages is also important, as you know. So the last eclipse, I don't know, Samir, if you remember, we were all together in Kerala, right? It was a and a total washout. Do you remember that?
Yeah. We were like almost up all night waiting in excitement for the dawn to come and show us the ring, but then the clouds also came along and we missed it. And we are missing it this time as well.
Yeah, so I think in Calcutta it's also kind of I don't know what's going to happen because there's a mix of clouds and sunlight. Also, there's a play of clouds. So it's a matter of luck whether I think we'll catch some amount of it, but it's certainly not going to be as spectacular as what's happening in North India, right? So
yes. So on YouTube you can see the eclipse has already started and we are seeing the feeds.
Yeah, Samir, we would like to point out one thing. Initially, the moon was ingressing from the left side of the feed. Now it is ingressing from the right side. It is just a flip due to technical setting in the feed. It is not that moon has not jumped to the other side. So viewers should note that.
Thanks for pointing that out. Yes, that did happen because we had to change the orientation of the feed for some reason. Thanks. So I just admit another panelist joining us from Punjab, Professor Harvinder Jassal from IISER Mohali. She is also trying to do a webcast, but I'll just keep her in and I'll relay on to Priya, who has been waiting to speak. Thanks. Welcome, Harvinder. And Priya, please continue. You're muted and we are eager to listen to you.
Yeah. Okay. So hi everyone. So it's an exciting moment, especially something exciting for outreach activities. And I think the eclipse gives us a very unique, a time to do this thing, as well as a very important role in debunking myths, right? Because there are so many myths associated to eclipse, and by the time the eclipse is over, it all gets proved to be wrong, right? So you don't have to wait too long to prove it to be, prove the myths to be wrong. So we'd all be seeing that. And also in terms of an outreach event, it's a very important outreach event. It gets people to look up at the sky and observe these things. But with the present situation, it has all become so very different because, we can't be collecting people. So we are stuck onto our digital screens watching these things. But I think it is a very unique, good moment for us to actually see the event. And in Hyderabad, the scene is not too good because the monsoons have come in. And the sky is overcast, so I've not even gone to check it in detail. But I think it's definitely bad. So because of the monsoons, but I'm sure Harvinder will have something more interesting to share. Yeah. So that.
Thanks, Priya. प्रोफेसर दिव्या ओबेरॉय, हम आपके पास वापस आते हैं. हमने पिछले कुछ मिनटों में ग्रहण के बारे में अंधश्रद्धा, अलग अलग अंधश्रद्धाएं जो है, इसके बारे में कुछ बातें की अंग्रेजी में. आप हमारे हिंदी दर्शकों के लिए इसका थोड़ा हिंदी में समरी दे सकते हैं?
जरूर. धन्यवाद अनिकेत. तो जैसा आजकल हम सबने सोशल मीडिया में बहुत बार देखा है कि बहुत लोगों के मन में बहुत उम्मीद है कि इस एक्लिप्स की वजह से जो ये कोरोना वायरस का पैंडेमिक है, इस पर प्रभाव पड़ेगा और ये खत्म हो जाएगा उससे. तो सच में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. एक्लिप्स का इस कोरोना वायरस पर जरा भी प्रभाव नहीं पड़ने वाला है. राइट. वो जानने के लिए, वो समझने के लिए आपको सिर्फ इतना जानने की जरूरत है कि एक्लिप्स होता क्या है। एक्लिप्स सिर्फ लाइट की ब्लॉकेज है, राइट। सूर्य से रोशनी आ रही है, पृथ्वी और सूर्य के बीच में चंद्रमा है जो सूर्य से आने वाली रोशनी को रोक लेता है, कम कर देता है, राइट। पूरी तरह रोक लेता है तो टोटल सोलर एक्लिप्स हो जाता है, पूरी नहीं रोक पाता तो पार्शियल सोलर एक्लिप्स या एनुलर सोलर एक्लिप्स है। अब वायरस को मारने के लिए हमें कम नहीं ज्यादा रोशनी की जरूरत है, राइट। तो अगर रोशनी हम कम कर देंगे तो वायरस का तो उससे कोई नुकसान नहीं होने वाला। दूसरा ध्यान में रखें कि एक्लिप्स तो दुनिया के एक थोड़े से हिस्से में ही हो रहा है, क्योंकि हमारे जो जो चंद्रमा है, जिसकी शैडो की वजह से, जिसकी परछाई की वजह से ये हो रहा है, वो इतनी छोटी है कि वो पूरी पृथ्वी को एक बार में कवर नहीं कर पाती है, उसके बहुत थोड़े से हिस्से को कवर कर पाती है। ये भी याद रखें कि रोज रात को आधी पृथ्वी पे पृथ्वी की अपनी परछाई पड़ रही है, जो कि कई घंटे रहती है। ये एक्लिप्स तो कुछ चंद मिनटों का या कुछ दसियों मिनटों का है, लेकिन जो पृथ्वी, जो हमारी रात है, वो तो कई घंटों की है। तो अगर सिर्फ इस लाइट को रोकने से अगर इस वायरस ने मरना होता तो बहुत समय पहले मर गया होता। आपने ये भी देखा होगा मीडिया में कि बहुत सी कंपनीज ने, भारत सरकार की भी कई कंपनीज ने ऐसे उपकरण बनाए हैं जो कि वायरस को मारने के लिए यूवी लाइट का प्रयोग करते हैं, राइट। ये यूवी लाइट जो है सूर्य से आती है, लेकिन वो अधिकतर यूवी लाइट हमारा जो एटमॉस्फेयर है, जो उसकी गैसेस हैं, उसमें एब्जॉर्ब हो जाती है, बहुत ही थोड़ी सी वो नीचे तक पहुंच पाती है। तो सूर्य से जो रोशनी इस वायरस को मार सकती थी वो वैसे भी नीचे तक पहुंच नहीं पाती है। तो दुर्भाग्यवश कह लीजिए चाहे, लेकिन इस ग्रहण का कोरोना वायरस पैंडेमिक पर, इस पूरे जो महामारी फैली हुई है, इस पर कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ेगा। जैसी सावधानियां हम पहले बरत रहे हैं वैसी ही सावधानियां हमें आगे भी बरतनी पड़ेंगी। जितना कम हो सके उतना कम बाहर जाएं तो लोगों से थोड़े दूरी बनाकर रखें, मास्क का उपयोग करें, बिना किसी कारण के इधर उधर चीजों को हाथ ना लगाएं, चीजों को हाथ लगाकर अपने चेहरे को हाथ ना लगाएं, हाथों को बार बार धोएं। वो सब चीजें जो आपको पहले भी कई बार याद दिलाई जा चुकी हैं, उन सब चीजों का ध्यान रखें और इस ग्रहण का कोरोना महामारी पर कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ने वाला है।
थैंक यू प्रोफेसर ओबेरॉय। प्रोफेसर हरविंदर जस्सल हमसे जुड़ी हुई है चंडीगढ़ से, मोहाली से। सो हरविंदर जी, वहां पे क्या सिचुएशन है? आप ये ग्रहण देख पा रही हैं?
जी, सुबह तो हम जब उठे थे तो बहुत बादल थे और हम घबरा रहे थे कि नहीं देख पाएंगे, और जैसे 10-15 हुए वैसे ही बादल छट गया और इस वक्त काफी सनी है और हम देख पा रहे हैं। हमारे एक कॉलीग मानवेंद्र बेरा बॉल मिरर से प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं और सोशली डिस्टेंस वे में एक एक करके बच्चे वहां देख भी रहे हैं। उन्होंने सन फिल्टर्स भी बांटे थे और हमारे अपने ग्रुप में तो लोग शेयर कर रहे हैं, तो मैं कुछ धीरे धीरे फोटोज शेयर करती रहूंगी यहाँ पे। मेरे 2 कोलीग्स भी ज्वाइन करेंगे। एक बायोलॉजिस्ट हैं जो कि बर्ड्स के बिहेवियर पे बात करती हैं, उनका स्टडी करती हैं, शी इज एन बिहेवियरल इकोलॉजिस्ट। एंड एक हैं हिस्टोरियन रितुज्योति बंदोपाध्याय जो कि अर्बन हिस्ट्री और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्टडीज पे काम करते हैं। वो जैसे ही आएंगे हम उनसे बात करेंगे, बट इस वक्त बिल्कुल सनी है, बाहर एकदम रोशनी है और हम लोग देख पा रहे हैं।
So since Harvinder mentioned about projecting using ball mirror, we also got image from one of our viewers from Mumbai who has sent us image of projection using kitchen equipment. People can see, I will just share screen for a minute. You can see this image. Everybody can recognize this?
No, Colander.
छलनी है और इससे ये अभी हमें मुंबई से एक दर्शक ने भेजी है इमेज। सो आप भी आपके घर पे ऐसे कर सकते हैं।
बहुत ही सुंदर और अच्छी आइडिया है। सब लोग ऐसे करके अपना अच्छे से सूर्य ग्रहण का दर्शन ले सकते हैं और एक नहीं तो मल्टीपल इमेजेस मिल रही है हमें।
और पेड़ की छाया में भी देख सकते हैं, नीचे देख।
हाँ, ये और एक अच्छी आइडिया है। अगर आप घर के बाहर हैं, आसपास पेड़ हैं, तो आप कोशिश कीजिए कि उसके नीचे जो छाया गिर रही है वो देखिए, उसमें भी आपको काफी छोटी छोटी एक्लिप्सेस दिखाई देगी और आपको ऊपर देखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। शायद ये एक्लिप्स की इमेजेस एक्चुअली ऊपर जो सूरज दिखाई देगा उसके साइज से बड़ी होंगी, तो इट मे बी मोर satisfactory to you than looking at the sun directly with naked eyes. So Rita Jyoti has also joined us. Harvinder, would you?
रितु ज्योति, आप हिस्ट्री पे काम करते हैं, कुड यू आप अलग अलग भाषा यूज करके, इंग्लिश, हिंदी और बंगाली जो आपकी मदर टंग है, आप बता सकते हैं आपका क्या परसेप्शन है और आप किस तरह से देखते हैं इसको एज अ ले पर्सन? रितु ज्योति, रितु ज्योति, हम आपको सुन सकते हैं, कुड यू प्लीज स्पीक?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Can't hear anything.
Ritu Jyoti, we can hear you. And Ritu Jyoti works on urban history, informal sector history, and infrastructural studies. So वो IISER मोहाली में ही प्रोफेसर हैं, मेरे कॉलीग हैं. So I would like his views to be known to people who are logged in here over here. Ritu Jyoti, could you please speak a few words about your perception?
Yeah, so language use, English, Hindi, mix.
Yeah, English is fine. Please go ahead.
English, Hindi, Bengali, as you.
Okay. So it's not very India specific. So if you look at the myths about eclipses, all ancient cultures have their own share of myths, and not all myths carry a bad omen for people during eclipse. So Maoris, for example, they think that if there is a total eclipse, then they will win the war, next war that would follow the eclipse. So different cultures have their different perceptions, and the very interesting thing about eclipse when we look at different myths is that they also reveal certain cultural perceptions, certain cultural aspirations of different societies living in different times. So myths are also archives of changing sensibilities. Therefore, when a historian approaches a cultural phenomenon, then they do not just brush aside it as, of course, it is unscientific. We all know there is nothing called Rahu eating sun and then sun coming out of his neck. But the thing is, they also reveal the ways in which different cultures tried to reason, tried to engage with natural phenomena. So that's why I think it's also important that people get to know about those myths. And within the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, you have dozens of myths around eclipse. So it's not that we all know the Rahu thing, Rahu brush, but the thing is there are many cultures, many tribes in India, in central India, for example. There is a very strong myth that date collectors come and collect date from sun, for example, and date is incurred because there is sin in the earth. So if the upper part of sun's body is visible, then lower part is locked up, then it is said that animals are in danger. If the upper part is covered, then humans are safe. So for example, there are a lot of circulating myths, not just one. It's a very diverse way of engaging with the world when you don't have science, when you don't have access to scientific knowledge and explanatory structures, for instance. So I stop here, maybe.
Yeah, thanks, Ritu Jyoti. And what do you think? How should one approach, to dispel some of these myths? Because some of them actually come in the way of explaining science to people.
Yeah, so people also, I heard people using scientific jargons to explain eclipse, saying that there is a very different, a very unhealthy ray that comes during eclipse. So I would say that a lot of sensitization programs need to be undertaken, and also I think that popular science movements that were quite important in India in various parts that have eclipsed themselves in the last, say, 6-7 years. I would say that it's very important that we look at very rich traditions of popular science, local popular science movements, local clubs going to people, engaging with people, more engagement with people, more engagement with myths, more engagement with superstition is what is needed. I would say that for that, science need to be popularized, and that's what is needed. So scientific temper is not something that scientists only possess, right? So in society also there is scientific temper, and that needs to be nurtured. And that nurture I don't see within the structure of Indian state as well nowadays. So I would say that Indian state also has to play a role in it.
Sorry to interrupt for a minute. Viewers can also see another projection method which is there in the right side feed from Vigyan Prasar in Kurukshetra. They have projected it on plain paper using a pinhole. People can see that feed as well.
Thank you, Ritajyoti. This was a little eye-opener for how the scientific temperament needs to be enhanced in the current scenario. And we have had superstitions all the time. And in fact, people are asking on YouTube, why are there so many superstitions around the eclipses? Well, it's, I think, inertia for people to let go of things that were old knowledge and accept new knowledge because it may be put forward in a very complex way to them. So yes, we are trying our best, and I hope our event also leads to some myths being dispelled, some of the younger generation at least getting convinced that what science is telling them is not just an alternative theory to what old people or people of ancient times told. These both go along, and they are probably just better explanations coming from modern science. So we do that, and of course, while doing that, we enjoy the eclipse. I can see a lot of feeds on the YouTube channel, and you can also see some projection methods being used because technical defects cause our equipments to fail sometimes. So that's a characteristic of science. Experiments fail, equipment fail, but then we add that up, and the experience leads to something better. So we are watching the feeds. There are also people sending us images taken through their mobile phones. So I would remind you, mobile phones are just like your eyes. So we have constantly been saying that don't look at the sun with just your eyes. Directly looking at the sun is harmful, even if it's 99% covered. Suppose you're in the annularity ring belt today. So don't look at it. Have a solar eclipse goggle ready. That in itself cuts down the light to 99%, and still then you can see the sun. So can you imagine how much light it must be giving, right? And so if you're using a mobile to image the sun, then also you should take care of the sensor of the mobile. So give it a little bit of thought and use a solar filter in front of it instead of your eye. If you're taking a picture of the sun, don't look at it directly. You put the filter first to any optical thing that you have. You put the filter first and then the lens, and then you can click it. And we are getting very good pictures using this method. And I encourage you all to do that as well. But of course, be safe, look around, look around whether it's safe, unsafe, whether there's a big group, not following social distancing, etc. Don't be part of that. But do watch the eclipse. We also have Manjari Jain, who's been invited here, and Harvinder, could you introduce and conduct the further discussion? You're on mute, Harvinder.
Sorry, thanks a lot. Manjari Jain is a colleague here with me in IISER Mohali, and she is a biologist. She works on behavior ecology and evolutionary biology. Her specialization is bird behavior, and she works on bird calls, their acoustics. And it will be nice if you can speak a few words, Manjari, about how bird behaviors change when eclipse is on. And it will be nice to hear a biologist perspective for that.
Yeah, hi. It's really wonderful to be on this panel, and I'm also learning so much. So thank you, Harvinder, so much for including. Of course, we know because of the eclipse, there is attenuation in the light, and which is one of the major environmental factors that animals use to modulate their behavior. And many animals actually have been studied during these wonderful opportunities that eclipses provide us to see how this modulates their behavior. And in 2017, there was this study by Cornell University, bunch of colleagues from Cornell University, where they showed that during the total solar eclipse, which was seen in some parts in US, they found that the birds were reducing their activity, and some species behave in a certain way in which they start to behave like they would behave during a storm or during sunset. So they reduce their flight, and they used due to the reduced light availability, it is hard to observe wildlife. So instead, what they did was to use data from the radars to see how migration patterns and flying activity of birds, etc., is reduced during the total solar eclipse. And they also find that there are some birds that show some sort of a behavior in which it's almost as if they are confused. So they actually increase their flight just before the total solar eclipse, and then they come back to their perch. So all kinds of interesting things birds sort of show. We are on campus, on IISER Mohali campus, we are doing some observations right now. We are measuring activity levels of this group of birds. We call them jungle babbler or Sat Bhai. And they are cooperative breeders. So we are seeing how their parental care or nesting behavior, these things, how they change due to the eclipse. So do they come back to their roost? Do they start behaving as if it is nighttime? Is it nighttime activity or is it something different? So that is what currently right now students are out in the field, they are doing all of this. But there was one thing that I wanted to talk about animal behavior very quickly, about these animals which we cannot see with just naked eyes, and we need to observe them using microscope. These are called planktons. So these are zooplanktons, which are animals that are found in water bodies, and there are of course phytoplanktons, which are sort of plants, if you like. So a lot of study has gone in to show how the plankton behave differently during the eclipse, and with respect to phytoplankton, to see how the light and the change in this light levels affects their primary productivity, or how much food, if you like, is being produced by these plant-like things. And for the zooplankton, which are like animals, if you like, to see their migration patterns. So if you think of the surface of water, there are different kinds of communities at different levels, depth of the water. And during the night time, what happens is many zooplankton, especially copepods and rotifers, it is seen that they actually do a surface migration. So they come up to the surface during night time, and in the daytime they go down. So people have seen, and this is one group from India itself, led by Professor Shubhro Kumar Mukhopadhyay, and they published their findings in the journal called Limnology, where they show this change in the migration pattern during the brief period of this total eclipse. So within a few minutes, you can see that this migration pattern is completely altered. So where they see surface crowding for some species, some others go down, and it's absolutely incredible. So those few minutes of the eclipse allow us a peephole, if you like, into this amazing world of how animals respond to light. And that, I think, is very interesting.
It is
Once
interesting.
we know something about the babblers, I will let Harvinder know, and she will probably share it.
Professor Jain, I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said your students are right now outside in the field observing Sadbhais. I think means
maintaining social distance.
Yeah, this is my guess. Where today eclipse is happening in the morning hours, and so birds also have their daily rhythms. So eclipse in the morning hours and change of light during morning hours may have a different effect as compared to some eclipse which is going to happen closer to sunset.
Sure.
What you feel about that?
Yeah, so one would expect that also the period of darkness or near darkness, one would expect that would matter. So given that this is at noon time where their activity is fairly high, we do expect to see some interesting patterns there. We do. So my hypothesis, and my student does not agree with me, which is fine, that I expect them to start behaving as if it is sunset and they return back to the roost and the parents to return back to the nest. So these are cooperative breeders, which means that all group members participate in parental care of the chicks. So all the individuals in the group should be going to the nest at all times. But during night time, I expect that it should be the parents who have the maximum investment in the chicks. They should be around the nest. So I expect to see that certain individuals, they come back to the nest at this time. I don't know. We'll see.
The more important thing is they are out and they don't come back just to hide from superstitions.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Right. Maybe at maybe thousands of years ago that may have been the case with humans, because they would then fear any kind of darkness, and it could have led to this.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, we didn't know. Probably people didn't know enough, and yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's what we try to point out, that it's all the things we call superstitions. They are there in the society because there have been some reasons of fear of the unknown, and it has continued. So at that time, maybe it would have been safer to be inside when it's dark. Now when it's not, then it's not relevant, and then we can probably keep calling it superstition.
Samir, I would like to take up a couple of questions from the audience.
Yes.
So, and I would like to bring Professor Priya Hassan here. So there people are asking which household items can be used to view eclipse safely. So you can talk about that. And then there is somebody who also mentioned that he or she is using X-ray film to view eclipse. So you can talk about that as well. Priya, you are on mute.
Yeah. So thanks, Aniket. Yeah. So I think one of the recent picture which was shared of the sieve, right? The sieve showing the eclipse. I think that really looks very beautiful, because each individual hole acts like a pinhole, and you get the image, which looks really very nice. So actually, it's anything which has a small aperture, the ideal one being a sieve. And I think the sieve image really comes up very nice. But like we mentioned earlier, also X-ray films and all obviously are not the right thing to be used, because it's a misconception. People think that if they use X-ray films, that will be safe enough. It's definitely not safe enough, and you should not be using X-ray films. It's best to have from a good place if you have eclipse filters or solar filters or glasses. But this time, because of the COVID issue, we could not distribute them, or people did not feel comfortable buying it from places because of the contact problem. But yeah, I would say the most ideal kitchen appliance would be the sieve. The sieve really gives you a good image. Yeah.
Okay, this is also a time for a short summary in regional languages. So Priya, can you do a summary of what we can expect in next 1 hour or something like that? In
maybe. Because there are several people from the north watching, and
yeah, I'm coming to Harvinder next for Punjabi.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you want me to speak in Hindi?
In Gujarati.
Oh, in Gujarati. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, all watching.
Yeah. So actually, ચલો ગુજરાતીમાં વાત કરું છું. તો હમણાં આપણે એક્લિપ્સ જોઈએ છે, ગ્રહણ જોઈએ છે, જે શરૂ થઈ ગયું ઓલમોસ્ટ 10 વાગે સવારથી. અને તમે લોકો સોશિયલ ડિસ્ટન્સિંગ મેન્ટેન કરીને પ્રોજેક્શન્સથી તમે એક્લિપ્સને સરસ રીતેથી જોઈ શકો છો. સિમ્પલેસ્ટ પ્રોજેક્શન છે કે છન્ની વાપરીને તમે એનું પ્રોજેક્શન કોઈ વોલથી જોઈએ, એન્ડ એ બહુ સરસ લાગે છે જો તમે પ્રોજેક્શન જો. પણ ઓબ્વિયસલી આંખોથી જોવાનું ઓબ્વિયસલી મના છે, તમને નહીં જોવું જોઈએ આંખોથી, કારણ કે ઇટ ઇઝ હાર્મફુલ છે આંખો માટે. તો ટ્રાય બી નહીં કરવું જોઈએ, અને એક્સરે ફિલ્મ્સ પણ નહીં યુઝ કરવું જોઈએ. બેસ્ટ છે પ્રોજેક્શન. અને જેમ પહેલા બી વાત થઈ હતી કે સેલફોનથી લોક વિચારે છે કે સેલફોનથી જોઈ શકે છે. પણ સેલફોનથી બી તમે આંખોનું યુઝ કરવાના છો અને તમારા સેન્સર્સ જે તમારા ફોન પર છે, રાઈટ? તો એની માટે પણ તમને ફિલ્ટરની જરૂર પડશે. તો ટેલિસ્કોપ કે કેમેરા કે ફોન જે પણ તમે યુઝ કરો એની માટે તમને ફિલ્ટર, સોલર ફિલ્ટર યુઝ કરવાનું જરૂરી છે. તો યા તો તમે ફિલ્ટર યુઝ કરો, જો તમારી પાસે ફિલ્ટર ના હોય તો પ્રોજેક્શનથી જો. એન્ડ ડિપેન્ડિંગ ઓન તમે ક્યાં રહો છો, 1 o'clock ના વચ્ચે તમારું મેક્સિમમ આવશે. અને આઈ હોપ તમે અમારું ASE એપ જે છે, સ્માર્ટફોન માટે એપ છે એન્યુલર સોલર એક્લિપ્સ, તમે પ્લે સ્ટોરથી શોધી શકો છો, એને ડાઉનલોડ કરી શકો છો અને તમારા સ્પેસિફિક લોકેશન માટે તમારા એક્ઝેક્ટ ટાઈમિંગ્સ જોઈ શકો છો. એન્ડ તો એટ પ્રેઝન્ટ અગર તમારી પાસે ફિલ્ટર્સ નથી તો બેસ્ટ છે કે તમે પ્રોજેક્શન કરીને જોઈ લો. એન્ડ આઈ હોપ તમને બહુ મજા આવશે એ જોવામાં. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Priya.
my Gujarati is not so great.
Harvinder, can you give a brief message for our viewers from Punjab?
Yes, and I was reading the YouTube feed. There was someone asking for Punjabi, so very nice. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਗ੍ਰਹਿਣ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ. ਗ੍ਰਹਿਣ ਜੋ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਛਾਵਾਂ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਧਰਤੀ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਸੂਰਜ ਦੇ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਚੱਕਰ ਕੱਟਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਵੇਂ ਚੰਦ ਧਰਤੀ ਦੇ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਚੱਕਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਜੋ ਇੱਕੋ ਲਾਈਨ 'ਚ ਆ ਜਾਣ ਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਚੰਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੂਰਜ ਔਰ ਧਰਤੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਰਛਾਵੇਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. ਇਹ ਪਰਛਾਵਾਂ ਉਵੇਂ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪੇੜ ਦਾ ਪਰਛਾਵਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਤੇ ਪੇੜ ਦੇ ਪਰਛਾਵੇਂ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ. ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਈ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਸੁਪਰਸਟੀਸ਼ਨ, ਮਿਥ ਜਾਂ ਭ੍ਰਾਂਤੀਆਂ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਵਾਧੂ ਹੋਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਮਹੱਤਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ, ਏਦਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਨਾਰਮਲ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪੀਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਉਵੇਂ ਖਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪੀ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. ਪਰਛਾਵੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪੇੜ ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਖਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਉਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਖਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੋ ਖਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗ੍ਰਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਮਤਲਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ. ਨਾਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸੂਰਜ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ, ਚਾਹੇ ਗ੍ਰਹਿਣ ਹੋਏ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ, ਸਿੱਧੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰੈਟੀਨਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਜਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ. ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸੂਰਜ ਨੂੰ ਅਗਰ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਹੋਏ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਫਿਲਟਰ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਉਹ ਫਿਲਟਰ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਐਕਸਰੇ ਦੀ ਫਿਲਮ ਲੈ ਲਈ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਐਕਸਪੋਜ਼ ਫਿਲਮ ਲੈ ਲਈ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਸੋਲਰ ਫਿਲਟਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਲੈਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਉਹੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਫੋਨ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਫੋਟੋ ਲੈ ਲਈਏ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਫੋਨ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਵਾਂਗਰ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀ ਸੈਂਸਰ ਸੜ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਸੂਰਜ ਦੀ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਨਾਲ. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਿਲਟਰ ਨੂੰ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ. ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਛਾ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਸੂਰਜ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ੀਸ਼ਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੂਰ ਦੀਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਪਰਛਾਵਾਂ ਲੈ ਲਓ, ਛਾਵਾਂ ਲੈ ਲਓ, ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੂਰਜ ਦੀ ਇਮੇਜ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੀਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. ਨਾਲੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਸ ਫੀਡ 'ਚ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਛਾਨਣੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਚਾਨਣੀ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਥੱਲੇ ਫਰਸ਼ 'ਤੇ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਸੂਰਜ ਦਾ ਗ੍ਰਹਿਣ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਦਿਖੇਗਾ. ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਖੋ, ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਕੁਦਰਤ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਨਜ਼ਾਰਾ ਹੈ. ਇਹ ਦੇਖਣ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ ਸੇਫਲੀ ਦੇਖਣ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਨਜ਼ਾਰਾ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਘੱਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਵੀ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ, ਧੰਨਵਾਦ.
आशा है कि सबको अपनी अपनी भाषाओं में ये जो एक्सप्लेनेशन है ये पसंद आ रहे होंगे, और हम भी कोशिश करेंगे कि थ्रू आउट हम ये करते रहें. हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स अलग अलग भाषाओं में आपको समझाएंगे और शॉर्ट में आपको बताएंगे कि क्या क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या नहीं कर सकते. अभी आप देख रहे हैं कि एक्लिप्स धीरे धीरे बढ़ता जा रहा है. हमें आज देखने को मिल रही है चांद की, वो धीरे धीरे अलग अलग लॉन्गिट्यूड्स को टच कर रही है. और जो पूर्व की ओर पश्चिम की ओर के जो जगह हैं उस पे ये परछाई पहले टच कर रही है, और इस वजह से आपको अगर आप फीड में ध्यान दें तो ऊपर की तरफ जो पीले रंग का या ऑरेंज रंग का आपको इमेज दिख रहा है, उसमें आपको सूरज ज्यादा आपको ग्रहण में दिख रहा होगा। क्यों? इसका कारण यह है कि वो राजस्थान से फीड है, गुजरात और राजस्थान के आसपास की फीड है, उसमें से आपको पता चलेगा कि वहाँ ज्यादा ग्रहण ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, परछाई ज्यादा मात्रा में वहां पहुंच चुकी है। जबकि हानले जो कि बहुत ज्यादा पूर्व की ओर है, उसमें अभी आपको सूरज थोड़ा कम ढका दिखाई देगा। इसके अलावा हमारे फीड में लैटिट्यूड कवरेज भी है लॉन्गिट्यूड के साथ। तो आप देखेंगे हानले ये बिल्कुल उत्तर की तरफ है, उत्तर लद्दाख में, और नीचे कोडाईकनाल ऑब्जर्वेटरी से आप फीड देख रहे हैं, जहां आपको सूरज की इमेज दिख रही है। ये फ्लिप्ड इमेज है, ये टेलीस्कोप से ली हुई इमेज है, ये फ्लिप्ड है, और हम वहां से डायरेक्ट फीड आपको दिखा रहे हैं। इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एस्ट्रोफिजिक्स इन eclipse goggles lying around somewhere from the previous eclipse, which we had also popularized. Please go ahead and watch the eclipse through them, or use a small mirror to project the light of the sun onto a far off wall, and you'll be able to see the eclipse. Many people are also sending in now the pictures taken with household instruments like channi or sieves, etc., where we are getting nice, shapes of the eclipse. Now in Pune, I'm sitting here near the window, and the sun has just peeked out of the clouds, which were giving us rain till now. So I'm hoping I'll be able to quickly go and peek at the sun and come back here at this time.
Using goggles, yeah.
Using solar eclipse goggles. Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind people of an experiment I'm sure all of us have done. We have all burnt paper using a lens. Thanks, Aniket. So to start with the question which, or the point which Samir was making, that solar astronomers have to do something to cut down the light dramatically. And what we do typically is the following. As you know, that from the sun comes an entire spectrum of radiation, right? It has all the colors of the rainbow from violet to red. In fact, the sun emits both at frequencies small cloud. Maybe cloud is not the best word, but it is surrounded by really very hot gas, which is what is called the solar corona. Normally, when on a normal day, we are not able to see this because the sun is so much brighter than the corona, that for the same reasons as why you can't see the stars during the day, you also cannot see the corona during the day. But when the disk of the sun is hidden behind the moon, then we can see this corona. It suddenly comes into being. And if I can share an image, I would like to share my screen for just a moment to do that. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, here. Here we go. Right, so hopefully on your such a detailed view of the sun as compared to what we have ever had. Already, this is the closest man-made object which has gone to the sun. It has it is at 47% of the distance between the Earth and the Sun right now. Okay? And its focus is going to be to make detailed measurements of the gases and the electric and magnetic fields which will be around this satellite, whatever is flowing past this satellite. And it will also be looking not directly at the Sun, but very close to the Sun to make the most detailed images of this solar corona. Another instrument which was launched just earlier this year in February is the Solar Orbiter, which is a mission of the European Science Agency. It will also get close to the Sun, not as close as Parker, but it will come to about 28% of the distance between the Earth and the Sun. And again, it will measure not just the gases and electric and magnetic fields, it also has instruments using which it will look at the Sun directly in visible, ultraviolet, extreme ultraviolet, and X-rays. And sometime next year, we are hoping to launch an Indian satellite by the name Aditya L1, which actually will have again a fantastic suite of instruments to give us information about the Sun. It will look at the Sun directly in UV light. It will have the instruments which create an artificial eclipse which are called coronagraphs, and it will look at that in visible light. It will be able to study the X-rays from the Sun. It will also have instruments to measure the composition and energy of the gases which are flowing past the Sun, and also measure the magnetic fields around itself, right? So it's a really excellent set of instruments which will be there. And I just noticed Durgesh has joined us as well, who's actually the PI of one of those instruments and will be able to tell you more about it in great detail. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Lovely, and yes, it's a very opportune time for Professor Durgesh Tripathi to join us, who's the leader of the team which will send Aditya L1 up, and they've been working hard on it for a long time, and we are looking at eclipse, and the Sun is quite a bit eclipsed. Can you see that small dot there? And that is the eclipse. Yes, my colleague is helping me out, but you can see. So this is something simple that you can do at home. If you are not able to see it directly, and there's nothing to be afraid of, you can always take precautions and watch it safely from your home. About eclipses in general and this one in particular.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hi, everyone. My head is just blocking the annular part of the eclipse, which I didn't want to actually do it. I just wanted to be in a corner so that people can see what actually they should be seeing when at the peak of the eclipse today. I mean, solar eclipse for me, and as well as for Divya, I mean, we say that the sun gives us the life. For me and Divya, not only in indirect way but also direct way, it gives us life because we work, because the sun is there. We try to understand what the sun is all about. And the eclipses, they for us hold prime importance because I actually started my PhD by looking at the data which came from SOHO by doing artificial eclipsing. So that's what I was going to say. that when people consider that these eclipses are not good and, you know, they can have problems, we are living for last 20 years, at least me, I have my career in solar physics since last 20 years. And the day I started doing science or doing PhD, I started looking at the eclipse data, and not the general eclipse, but we started doing eclipse by ourselves so that we can get good data and try to see it. I mean, when I was growing up, the first experience I had was in 94 or 96. I don't even remember. There was a total solar eclipse. And at home, everybody was supposed to be inside, not taking bath during the eclipse time and sitting quiet, not doing anything. But I still remember me and my sister peeped out, and we had this this thing which people use as a filter for wheat flour thing, right? So you take that and, you know, and look at the eclipse through that. I don't know if we did it right way or wrong way, but the best way to, now I know that it was to do a projection and see the solar eclipse. But at that time it was such a taboo, and I feel that that would have been very nice time, because that was, I think it was one of the longest one in India for some time. But then the first eclipse when I saw, that was in 2006 in Turkey. At that time I realized, wow, I mean, there is no wonder that people were sort of scared in the past, because you're not used to these things, you know. And when the sun comes and essentially blocks the moon comes and essentially blocks the sun, it appears very spooky. And, you know, all these birds flying away, and you see this shadow moving. Of course, you have to be clear visibility of the eclipse, and I'm glad that the first eclipse I saw, it was bamboozling, you know, it bamboozled my mind. And so when people were like scared for these things, I can understand. But now we know so much about these phenomena, and we know that essentially is nothing but just the shadow of the moon moving. Essentially, if the sun is shining and a bigger person, or right, anybody which comes in between you and the sun, it will create a shadow on your own body. It's just that, and nothing more like that. And it just, the moon moves around, and it comes at some point just right, gives the right size, and it gives you total solar eclipse. And if the size is a bit smaller depending on the orbit, then it gives you annular solar eclipse. So it's just a matter of fact that just the moon's orbit is like that. And it turns out to be a really interesting and nice phenomena when you really want to understand what the sun's outer atmosphere is made of. And there have been a number of discoveries done just by looking at the eclipse data. For example, helium was not discovered at the Earth. When astronomers looking at the eclipse, and that eclipse actually happened in India in 1869, 1859 in Guntur, when astronomers, they put their spectrograph in the corona and they observed this emission line. You know, my God, a new element, and it all fit properly in the periodic table. And now we know that helium exists, but it came from the eclipse data. Similarly, now we know that the solar corona, which we see during the eclipses, is as Professor Divya Obera was talking about, it's a hot gas. You know, it's more than 1 million degrees. And that challenges the solar astronomers for so long, and we don't really understand. And it's such a beautiful, fascinating phenomena it gives that you really need to discover new science, new physics, and you learn every day. Any data you look from the sun is very unique. So that's what I do. I actually get really bamboozled when I look at solar eclipse. And last year, me and Professor Divyendra Nandi, Dipankar Banerjee, we all went to IAU meeting, which was in Argentina, and this was arranged during the total solar eclipse. And the weather, I mean, it was cloudy just 10 minutes before the totality happened, and then it got so clear, and you saw this ring of fire. You know, wow, that was fascinating again. So any total solar eclipse, any annular solar eclipse, I go run chase. Last year we did that in Kera in December, and that was beautiful. I mean, we did only see some part of it because it was hide and seek phenomena, as Sabir said at some point, hide and seek of celestial bodies. And that was fun as well. We couldn't see it at the time when it was complete annular, but just being with the crowd, and enjoying the celestial phenomena, it's just a unique opportunity and an experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Durgesh. So just to update our viewers, we are now seeing we have passed the maximum eclipse time for the westernmost longitudes in India, like Mumbai and I think also Pune. And we soon will be reaching the annular phase in the Rajasthan feed, which we are going to see at the top. We are also getting a lot of interesting images from our readers, our viewers. I will share some of the images in some time. In the meantime, we can go back to Professor Priya Hassan. Priya, several people mentioned eclipses, the lastest eclipse, and before that also there was a couple of annular eclipses, total eclipses, which were viewed from India. Can you tell what your experiences about watching previous eclipses?
So the last eclipse which we had in December, 26 December in Hyderabad, it was partial, but we had an event in one of the parks in the city, and we had more than 300 people who actually turned up for the event. And it was a really interesting, good event, lots of people around. We followed the thing, but we were following the theme of eclipse eating. So we, we served some food, some biscuits, some tea to people while the eclipse was on, as part of the debunking thing of making people eat during the eclipse. We also had some talks about the sun and what actually causes the eclipse, basically explaining people how there's nothing very exotic happening at that time, that people need to, fear the event. And we spoke a little bit about the solar missions, etc., and the projections. So the children, we actually had solar filters. We have a 16 Dobsonian telescope, so people could actually see the eclipse through the telescope. And we also did some projection events. And since it was a park in the city, so a lot of people even came there who were normal, morning walkers, who stepped in and see that something was happening. This was early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, so a lot of morning walkers were there. And hence it was a very successful, good event, and I think people did enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
Professor Shauche, what is your best eclipse memory of any of the past eclipses? You're on mute, Professor Shauche.
So that was during the last eclipse, where we some experiments along with Citizen Science Forum, where just to debunk all these myths about not eating during the eclipse and food going bad and such things, we conducted some experiments in Pune as well as in different parts of the country with the help of volunteers, and we tried to find out bacterial load in the air, as well as we did a lot of experiments. We also tried to find out if bacterial load in the food, or if we deliberately put some bacteria in the food, how do they behave? So that was a very interesting experience, working along with the students, designing the experiments, asking students to conduct the experiments at 3-4 different locations simultaneously, coordinating those experiments, and then analyzing the data. So that was a very, very interesting experience.
So Aniket, can I show a picture which was just taken in our dome area? So I'll just share my screen.
Yeah.
So can you see this picture? This was just taken within our Ayuka dome. Samir, you will recognize it. Which you can see. So there are a number of holes in the dome, and the sunlight is just going through. So you can see all these partial eclipse pictures. So multiple of them over here, and this is just coming through different holes from the dome. So as you can see, as many images as the holes. This is quite fascinating, isn't it?
Yes, it is very nice. So I was also going to show a couple of pictures which we received from our viewers. This is one picture of from Mumbai, I suppose, where there was thick cloud cover, and cloud cover is so thick that they could directly see the sun.
Yeah, similar experience we had in Kerala last year. I mean, the cloud was playing the role of the filter. Essentially, it's just blocking the light. You see very dim picture. So very nice.
So we are now approaching the annular phase, where I think more than 90% cover is there, and in just few minutes we should be reaching the annular phase in Rajasthan feed. I will also share one more picture in the meantime, which is about using trees as a pinhole. Just a minute. So here you can see light filtering through the tree canopy, and in those small areas through which sunlight can pass through the tree canopy act as pinholes, and then you see lots of crescents on the ground. So you don't really need a fancy equipment to observe solar eclipse. You can also do these kind of simple activities from your home. So Durgesh, you mentioned about the space mission which India is planning. It said its name is Aditya L1. So what is L1? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Right. So essentially, Murphy's laws say that whenever you're not looking at something, things happen. And earlier, when people used to launch satellites put into Earth's orbit, what they realized that all the large-scale activities, which has strong space weather effects and all, that would happen in the nighttime, and therefore you would not see any data. So people are looking at a location where they could have 24/7 observation from the sun, and it turns out that the Lagrange point, the first Lagrange point, is the location which is in between the sun and Earth. So essentially, if you look at the two-body problem, classical mechanics, you find that there are 5 such positions where, in some way, the gravity, to put it in a very layman term, the gravity between sun and Earth neutralizes. So there are 5 such points. One is between sun and Earth, which is 15 million kilometers away from the sun, from the Earth towards the sun. L2 is just on the opposite side of the Earth. So you have Sun, Earth, and L2. L1 is in between. And then you have L3 on the other side of the Sun. And L4 and L5 are making some angle from the Sun-Earth line, going L4 there and L5 below. So if you put anything at L1, so when the Earth is moving, L1 is also moving along with, because it just falls on the Sun-Earth line. So if you put a satellite there, then there is no nighttime for that particular satellite. And therefore, you can have a 24/7 continuous monitoring of the sun, because studying the solar activity is not only understanding the science of the sun itself, but also whatever happens on the sun has direct impact on our space weather, geosatellite communication, and so on and so forth, electric power grids and stuff like that. So what essentially you want to do is to look at the sun, study the dynamic phenomena happening with the final aim of being able to predict. And therefore you need to continuously
Durgesh, just I have to stop you because we have annularity at Rajasthan. So
wow.
Wow. Let's look at
So
that.
the top feed on the right, you can see the annular solar eclipse. And it is going to last for about a couple of minutes. So you can clearly see moon, the dark disk of moon inside the solar disk, and we see a nice ring of fire.
This is what we have been waiting for.
Wow.
Oh. So we are thankful to this group which has shown this image from Rajasthan to us without to go anywhere.
See, in Rajasthan.
I like the name of this group, Cosmo Sapiens.
Yes, that's what we are. Probably that's what we are going to become as we start going to space. You see at the bottom, you can see at some places the moon is now touching the edge of the sun, and at some places you could see that it was there were some tiny bead-like structures. So I wish we could rewind this a bit, but you can always rewind on the live feed. These are called Baily's beads, and basically they appear because the moon's surface is not very smooth, and it's not a clear-cut, sharp disk. It's got valleys and mountains, and because of that, when the higher, see them happening now also on the left edge. If a mountain touches the edge first, but then there's a valley besides it which is still letting the light through, we get these things called Baily's beads. And this is in Rajasthan, where we are not going to get 99% coverage, which is going to be the maximum in India. You can still see some of the Baily's beads happening on the left. Amazing, this site. There you go. And so because of the moon being slightly away from a point where it could cover the sun completely, we have the moon's shadow, let's say the silhouette of the moon, slightly smaller than the sun. And it has just finished doing a ring of annularity on the sun as seen from Rajasthan. We, I think, are now about to go into annularity phase in Haryana and Punjab in a few minutes from now. And after that, it will proceed into Uttarakhand and into the Himalayas. But as I was saying, that you were able to see the feed in which you could see the Baily's beads happening. These are because of the valleys and mountains on the moon's surface. So just imagine you did not just see the moon going past it, you could even detect some of the valleys and mountains there. Lovely experience, I think. And all of us are excited here. And thank you all for actually sharing this moment with us. It's been a while we've been talking about this, that it will come up and we'll see it happening. And there it is now. We can see it, and we've already experienced one place. Other places like Hanle, as you can see in the feed here, are going to get the close to annularity. They will not get 99%. I am wishing that we had a feed from the exact belt, exact center of the belt, where the moon would be seen at the maximum covering the sun. And at that place, you would have, probably looking at today's image from the Rajasthan feed, you'd probably have Baily's beads or a necklace of them shining for about 30 seconds. That's approximately the time annularity will be seen in this part of the annularity belt. So amazing. This was a thrilling experience. We are still waiting for and hoping that the clouds will clear in Kurukshetra and the technical difficulties will go away and we'll be able to see the feed in a few moments. This has happened often, and we have given up hope, but then suddenly at the last moment we get to see the real eclipse.
Yes, it was
How are you guys
spectacular. And don't forget, there's no harm in eating or drinking during eclipse. We should celebrate this with nice, probably a cup of coffee or something like that.
Oh yes,
Aniket, you are making me hungry.
Yes. Actually, so we have been joined by Professor Samak Raichandani again is here with us, and we have Neeraj, Dr. Neeraj Amarujam from South Africa, who has just finished watching the African eclipse, and they're joining us to have some. I hope you brought your chai, but I'm definitely have my kappa here, and we're going to have a quick sip. I've actually kept it getting cold. I don't mind it being cold, and over the whole period of the eclipse, because I forgot to have it when I made it. So, so there's no effect. I'm having a very stale tea, cold tea, but it's quite tasty. We are hoping to get more feeds to the dignitaries who just came in. We just finished looking at the annularity from Rajasthan together. I hope you also saw it on your phone or mobile devices. Kurukshetra is going to be full now. Bailey's beads are full. Oh, lovely. So we will shift again our feed to Kurukshetra, where Bailey's beads might be seen, as it's going to go into annularity soon. Just hold on. Our team is working on showing the feed right away. Hanle, as you can see, has become really thin and crescent. And there you go. Vigyan Prasar is broadcasting this from Kurukshetra. You can see it's the color is slightly pinkish reddish because of their filter. It's not because the sun has turned into something weird. These things need to be filtered, and we'll show it full screen to you. Please don't resist any lovely emotions that might be coming.
That's beautiful.
Wow, this is great.
You can clearly see a string of pearls. And now we have
Excellent.
the annularity.
That's lovely.
You have seen, all of us may have seen it multiple times over last few eclipses, but still every time it still amazes you. We are at a unique location in our solar system where we have a satellite which can produce not just total eclipse but also annular eclipse, which is a very rare thing to happen in our solar system as far as our solar system is concerned. So it's really amazing that we can witness all this.
So you can see it's a very fast movement. The shadow of the moon actually moves across the Earth's surface. 2000
disk of the moon.
kilometers per hour. And there you can see it's already reached the other edge, and we are seeing it about to touch.
And that's the third contact.
And you can already see those high points on the moon touching the edge already, and the valleys are letting some light through. Wonderful. Oh.
They change the focusing. So
I think people get excited at this time, and they just shake their equipment or something. But it's an experience which really shakes you up, and you can get goosebumps from this even by looking at it online. So great job, and we are happy that we could get the feed for the annularity from Vigyan Prasar, which is doing it from Kurukshetra, Haryana.
for this solar eclipse, the greatest eclipse is going to be near Joshimath in Uttarakhand, but unfortunately we don't have a feed from that area, right?
Right, we don't have any links right now, and it's always a challenge in this times when there's a curfew everywhere. People are needing to get a pass to get any even groceries sometimes, and these people have dared to go out and set up these things, this equipment to show us this eclipse. But however, there might be possibilities that their battery ran out or things like that, which happen, which are very practical things. And I think this is going to be the last annularity feed that we will see, because we'll keep looking at other feeds and see the gradual change in the shape of the sun over the next 2 hours when the eclipse slowly ends and we come to the end of the program. So, but we still have a lot of experts coming back to us, and I can see our friend Arvind Ranade in the Vigyan Prasar feed. Well, he's not joining us here, unfortunately, but you can just get a glimpse of him. So we can turn back to the experts here, and we can ask them their reaction. What do you think?
Yeah, let's start with Professor Shauche. What was the so this is your how many eclipses you have seen so far, and what is your reaction this time?
I mean, I have seen a couple of eclipses so far, but I would say that today's was the by far most exciting experience because of all this discussion with the experts and feed from all over the country from different places. By far, this was the most exciting experience I had today, and the event of annularity, that was a really very exciting experience watching it from the feed.
Thank you. दुर्गेश, हमारे हिंदी दर्शकों के लिए आप हिंदी में कुछ बताएंगे? आपने पहले बेलिस बीड्स के बारे में भी कुछ कहा था अंग्रेजी में, आप थोड़ा हिंदी में फिर से बताएंगे तो अच्छा होगा.
हाँ, सूर्य ग्रहण, सूर्य ग्रहण जो होता है मेरे लिए, या फिर मैं पहले बोला था कि पहले जब सूर्य ग्रहण होता था तो आप पूर्ण सूर्य ग्रहण जब देखेंगे तो बहुत डरावना लगता है. तो आज के बहुत साल पहले जब इतनी सारी चीजें हमको नहीं पता थी एस्ट्रोनॉमी के बारे में और सन अर्थ मोशन के बारे में, तो लोगों को डर लगना थोड़ा संभव भी होता था. लेकिन आज के हम इतना कुछ जानते हैं कि जो सन और जो सोलर इक्लिप्स होता है इसमें ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. इट्स ऑल अबाउट कि मून मूव करता है और हमारे और सन के बीच में आ जाता है, और जहां पर उसकी शैडो पड़ती है वहां दिखती है. ऐसे इट्स नथिंग मोर लाइक कि हमारे और सन के बीच में कोई आ गया, उसकी शैडो हमारे ऊपर से गुजर गई, वो बहुत थोड़े समय के लिए रहती है. तो इसेंशियली वो मून का शैडो पड़ता है, हमको इक्लिप्स दिखता है. तो लेकिन जो इसका एक्सपीरियंस होता है, आई मीन अगर आप टोटल सोलर इक्लिप्स देख लेंगे तो इट्स माइंड बॉगलिंग. आई मीन यू कांट डिस्क्राइब इट इन वर्ड्स, बट एनुलर, दिस इज माय फर्स्ट एनुलर इक्लिप्स एक्चुअली. तो जो मैं पूरा देखा हूँ वो भी ऑनलाइन फीड में और विथ लॉट ऑफ पीपल. आई मीन इक्लिप्स वॉचिंग हमेशा अच्छा होता है जब आप लोगों के साथ देखते हैं. अकेले बैठ के देखना इज ऑल फाइन, बट व्हेन यू हैव पीपल अराउंड, बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, तो आप उसको एक माइंड में रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हैं कि लोगों की फीलिंग्स क्या होती हैं और किस तरह से. आप अगर ऐसी जगह पे जाए जहाँ पे बर्ड्स होती हैं तो द बर्ड्स स्टार्ट फ्लाइंग अवे, यू नो, दे स्टार्ट्स ट्वीटिंग. तो वो एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अलग सा होता है. आप कुछ और बोल रहे थे, मैं पूरा सुन नहीं पाया आपका सवाल की था क्या.
नहीं, आपने पहले बेलिस बीड्स के बारे में जो बताया तो वो हिंदी में आप बता सकते हैं तो.
if you can say it by yourself in Hindi.
Sorry. नहीं, आप Bailey's beads. Can you hear me? Yeah. Hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear you, Aniket. Only thing I'm saying that I request you or Samir to say that in Hindi. It's sort of difficult for me to express myself completely.
धन्यवाद दुर्गेश, आपने काफी चीजें बताई और एक अभी जो हमें देखने को मिला और अनुभव करने को मिला ये था बेलीज बीड्स का नजारा। तो अभी आपने देखा कि सूरज की जो प्रतिमा हमें गोल अच्छी सी दिखाई देती है, उसके सामने चांद आ गया था अपने पथ पर घूमते हुए, और इसकी वजह से हमें आज ग्रहण दिख रहा है। लेकिन इसमें आज हमें ये भी पता है कि चांद अपनी धुरी पर जो घूमता है वो थोड़ी सी लंब गोलाकार है, मतलब एक एलिप्टिकल शेप में है, इसलिए कभी कभी वो पृथ्वी से थोड़ा दूर होता है और कभी पृथ्वी के जरा पास होता है। आज वो इस ऐसी स्थिति पे है कि थोड़ा सा दूर है, जिसकी वजह से वो सूरज को पूरा ढक नहीं पा रहा है, और इस कारण से हमें एक स्पेशल एक्लिप्स दिखाई दे रही है। मतलब हम कभी कभी हम तो डरते हैं कि जो पूर्ण सूर्य ग्रहण है उसे नहीं देखना चाहिए वगैरह, लेकिन आप देखिए दुनिया में ऐसे भी लोग हैं हमारे तरह, और काफी ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्हें ये देखना पसंद है और हम उसको चेस करते हैं। जैसे अभी दुर्गेश जी ने कहा कि उन्होंने भी एक्लिप्सेस देखी हैं, सबने यहाँ पे एक्लिप्सेस देखी हैं अलग अलग समय पर, लेकिन आप देख सकते हैं पार्शियल एक्लिप्स जो कि इसमें सूरज थोड़ा सा ढका दिखता है, आप देख सकते हैं पूरी एक्लिप्स, संपूर्ण एक्लिप्स जिसमें सूरज पूरा ढक जाता है। लेकिन ये स्पेशल एक्लिप्स है उसमें भी जिसमें सूरज करीब करीब 90% से 99% तक ढका जा रहा है आज, और इस वजह से जो चांद की सतह पर जो कुछ गहरे खाइयां हैं या फिर कुछ ऊंचे पहाड़ हैं, उसकी हमें यहाँ पे एक झलक देखने को मिल रही है। ये कैसे? तो आप देख सकते हैं कि अभी अगर आप इधर रिवाइंड करके देख लें बाद में, तो आप देख पाएंगे कि उसमें आपको चांद की जो एज है उसकी और सूरज की एज के बीच में कभी कभी कुछ छोटे छोटे ऐसे मणि जैसे दिखेंगे। तो आप सोचेंगे कि चांद अगर गोल है, एकदम समान है, तो ये कैसे हो रहा है? तो आपको बता दूं कि इसको कहते हैं बेलीज बीड्स, और ये काफी समझा हुआ एक फिनोमिनन है जिसमें चांद की सतह के ऊपर जो पहाड़ है उसके और वैलीज के बीच में से प्रकाश हम तक पहुंच पाता है जब ये एज दोनों टच होती है, और इस वजह से हमें वहां पर एक सुंदर माला जैसी दिख सकती है या फिर माला के मणि जैसा कुछ दिख सकता है। तो आपको पता है कि सोलर एक्लिप्स में डायमंड रिंग हमें दिखाई देती है, और लेकिन ये एक स्पेशल एक्लिप्स है जहाँ पे कंप्लीट नेकलेस हमको मिल सकता है।
Samir, we have IIA feed from Hanle in Ladakh, and there is a maximum eclipse there at the moment.
हनले जो लद्दाख में है, यहाँ पर भारत की कह जा सकती है कि दूसरी सबसे बड़ी दूरबीन स्थित है। सारे खगोल शास्त्री उसकी तरफ उसका इस्तेमाल करते हैं, और आज लेकिन वहां से एक स्पेशल फीड हमें मिल रही है इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एस्ट्रोफिजिक्स की तरफ से, और आप देख सकते हैं कि जिसमें हनले की फीड हमें मिल रही है, और करीब करीब 90% से ज्यादा सूरज वहां पे ढका हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। एक ऑलमोस्ट ऐसे लग रहा है कि एक वो चांद ही है, लेकिन उल्टा है, इसमें जो डार्क आप चीज देख रहे हैं वो चांद है, और जो प्रकाशित भाग जो देख रहे हैं वो सूरज का एक छोटा सा हिस्सा है जो कि चांद के पीछे से हमें दिखाई दे रहा है। कि यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम फेज है हनले में, हम इसे कोशिश करें फुल स्क्रीन दिखाने की। तो और उसके साथ साथ राजस्थान में आप देख सकते हैं ऊपर ही अभी सूरज धीरे धीरे बाहर निकलने लगा है चांद के पीछे से, और उसकी झलक हमें ज्यादा दिखाई दे रही है। लेकिन दोनों अभी बहुत सुंदर क्रेसेंट शेप जिसको कहते हैं